the frost has already left the ground. Your body has not heard the news yet, still carrying the heavy memory of a season that has passed. A cold you have held so long it began to feel like warmth. You do not have to release it right now. You do not have to feel anything differently than you do in this moment. Here, in the quiet dark of the ancient forest, you are safe. There is nothing hidden in the dark except stillness, and nothing waiting here except rest. No one is asking anything of you. The day has folded itself away, the way the forest tucks its sounds. Beneath the moss at nightfall, and whatever you did not finish, whatever you could not mend, it will wait without judgment until morning. It was never yours to carry into sleep. Let the surface beneath you receive you now. Not because you are ready, but because the weight of you is real, and the earth has always been wide enough to hold it. Gravity does not ask permission. It simply draws you down, slowly, into something steadier than effort. Welcome to the deep forest. Tonight, we will walk together with Sable, a small robin who knows exactly what it feels like to hold on to a song, long past its season, perched at the edge of a forest that has quietly, without asking her, turned green. The forest sable calls home sits at the fold between two hills, where a shallow brook runs cold over smooth, pale stones, and the soil smells of pine needle and dark earth even in the warmest months. Tonight, the last of the frost has pulled back from the roots. The elder oaks have unfurled their first tender leaves. A green so new it is almost yellow, and the air carries something Sable has not smelled in a very long time. Warmth. Not the memory of it. The thing itself. She sits on a low branch of a hawthorn at the meadow's edge, her small claws curled tight around the bark, the way they learned to grip during the long freeze, when loosening your hold meant losing your place entirely. Her charcoal-tipped wings are folded close against her sides. The rust red of her breast dulled to the colour of dried clay. Through the cold months catches the last amber light filtering through the new canopy. The pale scar above her left eye, a thin, quiet line earned in a winter she endured alone, catches no light at all. Around her, the forest is exhaling. The wood thrushes have shifted their calls. Lower, slower, rounder. The brook below has swelled with snowmelt and moves with a different sound now, not the sharp, hurried trickle of water finding gaps in ice, but a wide, even pour. Even the ground beneath the hawthorn looks different. The frost crust is gone. The soil breathes. But Sable opens her beak, and what comes out is winter. The same thin, clear notes she sang in January when the branches were bare and the sky was a flat, colourless white. The song that said, "I am still here. The cold has not taken me." She sings it now into the green air, and the green air receives it without argument, the way it receives everything. The rain and the silence, and the sound of wings without condition. She does not notice the mismatch. Or perhaps she does, and that is the weight she cannot name. She flies before the light fully settles. Not far. Sable has never been a bird who flies for distance. She moves through the forest, the way water moves through familiar ground, following the same low corridors between the oaks, the same gap in the bracken, where the light used to fall, thin and grey, the same hollow stump near the brook, where she once sheltered for 3 days during the hardest freeze of the year. She lands on its mossy lip now and looks inside. It is dry. It is safe. It smells of cedar and slow decay, and something she can only call before. She sings into it. The hollow receives her song the way it received her then, without conditions, without preference. The sound moves into the dark interior and softens and comes back to her, changed, rounder, less sharp at the edges. She tips her head, the pale scar catching the green filtered light, and listens to what returns. It does not sound like January, but she sings it again anyway, as if repetition might restore the original shape of the sound. This is what Sable has always done. In the deep months, when the forest stripped itself bare and the cold arrived like a wall. She sang. She sang to locate herself. She sang to confirm she was still present, still breathing, still a small, warm thing in an indifferent white world. The song was never just music. It was a tool. It was the one thing she could do when everything else had been taken. The leaves, the insects, the warmth, the other birds who flew south and left the canopy empty and echoing. Her winter song was the thread she held, so that she would not become lost inside the vastness of the cold. And it held her. She is still here because of it. That is the truth she carries in her chest, as real and solid as the scar above her eye. But the forest around her is not January. The bracken has unfurled. The pale wood anemones have opened along the brook's bank, white and faintly trembling, the way new things tremble when they have just arrived and are not yet sure of their welcome. The insects have returned. She can hear them. The soft, steady thrum of the woods just below the sound of the water. The forest's own warm, breathing silence. There are seeds she could reach. There are warm patches of sun moving across the forest floor in slow, unhurried circles as the canopy shifts in the breeze. She watches all of it from the hollow stump and sings her January song. A young chaffinch lands in the alder above her, tilts his bright head and adds his own voice to the air. His spring song is loose and tumbling, a sound like water finding its own level. The two songs exist together for a moment, different and unbothered by the difference. Then he lifts and moves on, the way birds do, following whatever the air asks of him. Sable watches him go. Something tightens in her chest. Not pain, exactly. More like the echo of pain. The shape that pain leaves behind when it has been present so long. It becomes part of the very marrow of her bones. She flies again. Lower this time, closer to the brook. The water here moves over a stretch of flat limestone, and the sound it makes is wide and soft. A continuous, exhale, the kind of sound that asks nothing of the creature sitting beside it. She lands on a stone at the water's edge. The stone is warm from the afternoon sun in a way that moves up through her claws and into the thin bones of her legs. And for a moment, just a moment, her grip loosens. She looks down. Her reflection in the water is small and wavering. She watches it the way she has never quite watched herself before. The rust-red breast, the charcoal wings, the pale line of the scar. She watches and she sings, and the water takes her song and scatters it, breaks it into pieces across its moving surface, and carries each piece downstream without asking her permission. The sound does not return. She waits for it. It does not come back. And something about that, the plain and patient fact of the water taking her song and moving on with it, loosens something behind her sternum that she did not know was still clenched. It is not dramatic. There is no moment of clarity that arrives like light breaking through cloud. It is smaller than that. It is the feeling of a fist that has been closed for so long. It had forgotten it was a fist. And now, one finger at a time, it opens. The water keeps moving. The song she just sang is already somewhere downstream, already dispersed, already part of the wide, patient pull of the brook finding its way through the green valley. It did not need to be held. It did not need to stay. Sable sits on the warm stone and does not sing. The forest fills the silence without effort. The wood thrush, the insects, the water, the slow movement of new leaves against each other. In the high canopy, a sound like the forest breathing through its mouth. She sits inside all of it, her claws still gripped from habit. And slowly, the way frost leaves a stone, not all at once, but in a gradual, patient withdrawal, she feels the forest's warmth moving through the limestone and into the bones of her feet. She has not been warm like this since autumn. She had forgotten that warmth was something a body could simply receive without earning it, without surviving for it. That it could just arrive through stone, through light, through the turning fact of a season turning, the way seasons have always turned. Long before Sable was born, and long after she is gone, a single hawthorn blossom drifts down from somewhere above her and lands on the surface of the brook. She watches it. It does not fight the current. It does not try to return to the branch. It simply rides the surface, turning slowly, carried by something far larger and more patient than itself, until it passes around the bend in the brook and disappears from her sight. She watches the place where it was. Then she opens her beak. What comes out is not the January song. She does not know yet what it is. It is quieter than her winter song, less certain. It has gaps in it, open spaces where the sound drops away, and the forest rushes in to fill the absence. It is not finished. It does not need to be. She sings it anyway into the warm green air, and the warm green air receives it. The light is almost gone now. The forest does not announce its dimming. It simply deepens the way sleep deepens, not through effort, but through the slow withdrawal of everything that was holding the day open. The warm patches on the forest floor cool and contract. The wood thrush goes quiet. The insects settle into the soil and the bark, and the hollow places of old trees, and the brook sounds louder in the new silence, the way a heartbeat sounds louder when everything else has still. Sable has not moved from her stone. Her claws, she notices, have loosened. She does not remember deciding to loosen them. The warmth from the limestone did it without her permission. The way the brook took her song without a word. The way the season turned simply because it was time. The forest does not ask. It simply continues, and eventually, if you sit long enough in one place, your body begins to continue with it. She is very tired. Not the sharp, urgent tiredness of surviving cold. Something older and softer than that. The tiredness that lives beneath. The other tiredness. The one that was there all along, waiting for the long winter's guard to pass, so it could finally be felt. She finds a low branch of a young rowan at the brook's edge. Its new leaves still curled at the tips like small sleeping fists. She steps onto it. The branch bends slightly with her weight and then holds, and she tucks her charcoal wings close and draws her rust-red breast into herself, and the pale scar above her eye disappears into the warmth of her own feathers. The brook moves below her. The forest breathes around her. She does not sing. There is nothing left to hold against the dark. The dark is simply the forest at rest. And the forest at rest has always been safe. And she has always, even in January, even alone, been held inside it. Her eyes close. The forest holds her. Still and warm. Not all at once. The way a hand opens. One finger at a time. And here, where Sable's eyes have softened into the dark, the forest does not end. It simply reaches a little further. The warmth that rose through the limestone and into her small bones. You can feel the edge of it now, somewhere beneath the weight of you. A gentle heat moving up through whatever surface holds you. The brook's sound is still here too, not as a memory, but as a presence. A low and steady exhale, just at the edges of the room, as if the water has always been this close, as if it has been running softly beneath this moment, all along. Let that sound carry you for just a breath. Draw the air in slowly now. The way the forest drew warmth back into itself at the end of a long winter. Not grasping for it, but receiving it. Allowing the breath to arrive. The way the season arrived for Sable. Patient and without announcement. And let it go. All the way out, soft and even. The way the brook carries what it is given. Downstream, around the bend, out of sight. You are still here. And that is enough. That hawthorn blossom you watched drift downstream with Sable. Let it carry something for you now. Whatever the day pressed into your hands, the things that did not resolve, the feelings that arrived without invitation and stayed without explanation. You can set them on the surface of the water, not because they don't matter, but because the brook is wide enough and patient enough, and it has been carrying things far heavier than this, for longer than either of us can imagine. You held what needed holding. That season is done now. And you do not have to sleep tonight. That is not what this is. You only have to rest here, at the brook's edge, in the warm dark, with nothing required of you, and nothing left to prove. The forest does not need you to do anything except stay. And here you are, still, warm, already held. Let that settle into the body now. still, warm, already held. There is nowhere to arrive. You are already here. Still, warm, already held. And now the forest floor begins. Its slow, ancient work. The frost has been leaving this ground for weeks, drawing back from the soil, the way tension draws back from a body that has finally been given permission to soften. It begins at the lowest places first. The roots, the stones, the small dark edges where the cold held longest. It begins with you, there, at the very tips of your feet. Bring your awareness down to your toes now. All 10 of them resting wherever they rest. The limestone's warmth is moving up through the soles of your feet, the way it moved through Sable's claws. Patient, deliberate, moving through without asking. Allow every small muscle between the bones to receive it. Give your body permission to release that held grip, to let the weight move down and the warmth move through. Drifting upward now into the calves, the shins, the soft place behind the knees. These muscles have carried you through every hour without acknowledgement, holding you upright long past the point of ready. Allow the tension deep inside to release here. The way ground opens after a long freeze. Not forced, simply ready, simply opening. Let the legs grow long and heavy, sinking into the surface beneath them. Moving higher now. Into the hips, the pelvis, the broad and quiet weight of your hip, pressing into the mattress. This is where the body stores what the mind could not finish. A season's worth of bracing, set it on the surface of the water, the way Sable set her winter song free. Let the hips grow wide and heavy and unheld, surrendering their full weight downward. The belly now, and the ribs. Notice whether the belly is holding, braced against some unnamed anticipation. Allow it to soften on the exhale and stay soft, rising and falling, the way the forest floor breathes with the earth beneath it. Let your breath find its own peace here, the chest growing warm and open, the ribs releasing outward like branches, finding their natural weight. The arms and hands now. Feel the hands, the way Sable felt her claws, still curved from the habit of holding. There is nothing to grip tonight. Allow the fingers to uncurl slowly, following the direction warmth naturally takes. The arms growing heavy and sinking, released into the mattress below. And the shoulders dropping now. Let them fall, the way the last frost leaves the stone. gradually, without drama. Warmth moving into the space. The cold leaves behind. Allow the neck to lengthen. The base of the skull to soften. The jaw now. Let it drift downward, just enough to release the day's held shape. The tongue falling from the roof of the mouth, heavy and still, resting the way a stone rests. At the bottom of the brook, the eyes sinking gently back behind the lids, softening into a darkness that is full of forest, full of the brook's sound, full of warm green air, allow every part of you to drift away, from the crown of the head all the way down, deepening with every exhale, every breath, carrying you deeper into the dark, soft into the earth of this moment. The brook is still moving. Somewhere below, carrying everything downstream. The rowan branch still and warm. You have already let go of the song. It is already around the bend. Still, warm, already held. Drifting. Deeper. Safe in the heart of the deep forest. Good night.